Okay, I see that people are watching. Hi, I see Jacqueline and Jackie are on. Hi, ladies. So I haven't been on here in a while. And I used to actually do Facebook Lives all the time. But I got out of the habit of doing them and I'm not sure why. And so I thought I should hop on here. I did a bunch of these when I was doing the Wagner trial too. And then my son got sick and all of this stuff. So life kind of happened. And I'm like, why am I not going on there and going live? So I feel like I should come on here so we can all talk about stuff. So happy Friday to everybody. We had some big news this week. Actually, last Friday, as you all know, Vallow Daybell was found guilty across the board of murdering her children, JJ Vallow and Tylee Ryan, and conspiring to murder Tammy Daybell, the wife of her now husband, Chad Daybell, over this whole cult thing. So, Jacqueline, it's good to see you too. Carrie, good to see you. So I'm just looking at the chat to see who all is coming on here. And sorry, it's been kind of a busy day. Planning a trip, getting ready for a trip, and then trying to work and do a lot of other stuff. So it's been kind of crazy. But I would like to do more of these, but I just wanted to hop on and start talking first about Vallow Daybell, because everybody last week, when she was found guilty of the Idaho murders, thought to themselves, well, what about the Arizona cases? Well, the Maricopa County attorney put something out saying, hey, we're going to have her extradited. We're going to move to have her extradited after she's sentenced in Idaho, which I can tell you right now, what's going to happen with that. She's going to get life without parole in Idaho. There will be no parole eligibility for her. It's not happening. And then, so they're seeking to extradite her. And at the time they said, for the incidents in July of 2019 and October of 2019. Well, October 2019, that incident is for the attempted murder of Brandon Boudreaux. So we thought, oh, maybe they're going to present evidence to the grand jury for that. Then the next day, a reporter in Arizona puts out that, that she was indicted last February. It's just under seal. And so then the Maricopa County attorney released some information about that and said, oh, well, we tried to, they said it was under seal. They unsealed it. They got permission from the court to unseal the indictment. And there were all these questions about this woman, Melanie Boudreaux Pulowski, who was the now ex-wife of Brandon Pulowski. Melanie, with an I, no E on the end, not Melanie Gibb, but Melanie Boudreaux Pulowski, was supposed to testify at the trial in Idaho, and then the state didn't call her. Well, a lot of people have been saying, is she going to be charged? Will they end up charging her? And because she apparently, there's some stuff about her kids being dark, all that kind of stuff that's come out in the trial. So Lori is indicted for conspiracy with her brother to try to kill Brandon. Alex Cox missed when he shot at Brandon. Now, there are questions about whether or not Melanie will be charged, because she seemed to really be kind of on board with Lori and Chad and their beliefs. And there was talk about her kids being dark and text messages and all this crazy nonsense. So we don't know if she'll be charged, but the county attorney out there in Maricopa County basically said, you know, we're always willing to look at things again, but wouldn't elaborate any further. So who knows if Melanie will be charged. Looking to see if you guys have any questions. And then I will probably end up, I don't know, doing these a little more. Then we got some other news, and I'm just kind of looking around on Twitter and stuff like that. We got some other news that basically Bryan Kohberger, who's accused in the Idaho 4 case, the murders of Kaylee Gonsalves, Maddie Mogans, Anna Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin. We got word, and there were people kind of wondering and suspecting whether or not this was going to happen, whether the prosecutor in that case would go to the grand jury and ask the grand jury to indict, to keep a preliminary hearing. Oh, that's weird. Wow. I don't know. Anyway, I just saw something on Twitter. Anyway, so sorry about that. It is something that took me aback. Excuse me. There was all this speculation because a preliminary hearing was supposed to happen on June 26th, and I was actually supposed to go to Idaho for that. Well, that was going to be a week-long hearing where basically the prosecution would have to meet this very low bar of probable cause. So to show a judge, hey, this is the evidence we have against this guy. We believe this is enough to show he probably committed these crimes and should go to trial. And so it would have exposed a lot of the state's case. There would have been a lot of evidence put out there. The defense would have been allowed to cross-examine witnesses and possibly call their own witnesses. And so the defense seemed like they were really gearing up for a bit of a fight. You know, it seems like the defense has been pretty aggressive, as they should be in a case such as this. Excuse me. There were a lot of questions about whether or not the roommates would testify and if they'd have to, you know, appear in front of everybody and their brother to testify about this awful case. Well, the prosecution basically went to the grand jury and said, we want the grand jury to indict. And this means the defense can't be in the room for that. The prosecution just goes to a secret proceeding called a grand jury. They have grand jurors, and the jurors hear the case and hear the evidence that the prosecution presents to show the grand jurors there's enough evidence to put this guy on trial. We have enough. We believe there's probable cause. And so they took that route, because then they don't have to have this preliminary hearing where everybody can sit there and listen to the testimony. The defense can cross-examine witnesses, possibly. It's almost like a fact-finding mission for the defense in some respects. It's not supposed to be, but it is. Nobody wants to say that, but that's what it is. So that's not happening now. So Bryan Kohberger will be arraigned. He was indicted by the grand jury on the same charges, 1 count of burglary, 4 counts of murder. And he's going to be in the courtroom for the first time since January. And I will be there. So I am going to Idaho on Sunday. And it's going to be interesting. You know, we haven't seen him since January. This will be a brief hearing. This is not going to be some long drawn out thing. He'll be read the charges by the judge. The judge will say, these are the charges. How do you plead? He's going to plead not guilty. A lot of people always think, why doesn't this person go in and plead guilty? That's not how it works. We're very early on in this process. It's going to be a very lengthy process. He's going to go in with his lawyers. He's going to plead not guilty. And then the case will proceed from there. The more evidence, more discovery will be turned over to the defense by the prosecution. They'll go through it and see how strong the case is in their opinion, whether or not they believe they can defend it. And then we'll also try to figure out, and we don't know if we'll learn this on Monday, but we could, but we don't know whether or not they plan to indeed pursue the death penalty. So that if we find that out on Monday, that'll be interesting too. And I will be there. So this will be my 3rd trip to Moscow, Idaho. 3rd trip. So it should be an interesting hearing. Plus, the defense has already filed these motion to compel things. And let me look and see if you guys are asking any questions. Hi, Rob. Sorry, it's hard for me to try to keep look in here, which I usually do, and then look at see if you have any questions. Jacqueline asks, will I be in Arizona when LVD is extradited? I don't know. It's possible. They may send me. It really just depends on what we think we'll get out of it, whether they want to send me, that type of thing. Then we will, so I could go maybe, but I mean, that's going to be a few months down the road at least, because she's not going to be sentenced possibly until August or something like that. Let's see. So yeah, there's another thing, a motion to compel. So basically the defense has gone to the judge in this case and said, the prosecution, we want you to order the prosecution to turn over more evidence to us. We believe there's information in their evidence that could exonerate our client. Was basically what they said in this motion to compel. The prosecution, for its part, has said, we've turned over a ton of stuff to you guys already. 51 terabytes of video. For anybody who doesn't know what 51 terabytes is, it's a lot. It's a lot of information. A terabyte is a ton of information. There's a lot of video in this case. Remember, they were scouring the area for surveillance video, looking for any sign of a vehicle that may have been in the area at the time. They said it was a white Hyundai Elantra. There were thousands of tips, like almost 10,000 tips that came into the FBI and the Moscow Police Department. There's just so much evidence in this case, but there's going to be a hearing on that on Monday. And also there's going to be a scheduling conference of sorts for the gag order issue in this case. Media outlets, including the media outlet I work for, Law and Crime, have gone to the court and said this is too restrictive. We're not getting information that we should be able to easily get. I mean, typically a gag order is basically this. It's the point of it is to keep the prosecutor or the defense from going out on the courthouse steps or going on television and say, this guy's horrible, he's like guilty, he's an evil monster, all these prejudicial statements made outside of the courtroom. Also prohibits the defendant from doing the same thing. Oh, the state's terrible and they've got the wrong guy, et cetera. It's to tamp down, bring down the temperature, limit the pretrial publicity. And there's been some crazy things that have gone on with this case, don't get me wrong. But as far as reporting the news goes, I don't think there's been a whole lot of crazy stuff with this case. In fact, I know there hasn't been. We're reporting the news. And there have been instances in which I can't get like basic information from records because of this gag order that's just too prohibitive and restrictive. So Law and Crime and a lot of other media outlets have banded together and formed a coalition and gone to the judge and said, look, we want a hearing on this. You're basically chilling our ability to report on this case in many respects. So there you have it. There will be a hearing to schedule further matters on that. So I'll be there for all of it. So Rob, I don't know where you're hearing that. And I'm seeing that on Twitter, but I got an email just a short time ago, basically saying that Court TV is going to be providing the pool camera. I mean, I got this from the court. So I don't know where people are getting this information, but I saw a tweet about that a minute ago, and that's why I kind of stopped for a second to look at stuff. But I am not aware of that at all. As far as we know, there's going to be a camera in the courtroom for this. And I got this information from the courts, as did other media outlets, 1 hour ago. So I don't know where the people that are tweeting this are getting this, but I mean, Court TV, as far as we know, is providing the footage to everybody. They're the pool. And then there are some other outlets who are doing the same, and the Associated Press will also be in the courtroom. So I don't know. There's going to be an overflow room. I know that. So does anybody have any questions? Because I just thought I would hop on here really quickly and see what's going on. So I'm looking to see if you guys have any questions. I'm going to tag you, Rob, just so you know. Yeah, I don't believe that to be true. So there you have it. Also, I did a story. Hi, Donna. Yeah, good to see you too. I did a story this week that was pretty crazy. A guy I work with, his name is Bobby. He is our YouTube wizard. And he basically said, hey, I'd like you to put something together on this. And it's this Republican city council member in Cranston, Rhode Island. He was found in his vehicle literally leaning back like this, his mouth wide open. The police officer goes up to the car. He gets out of the car. He's kind of startled. And he says he has sleep apnea and he's sorry. But the guy's like, well, you have a crack pipe in your hand. So basically, they tested the drugs they found in his car. The drugs tested positive for cocaine and fentanyl. It was like a rock type thing. Obviously, crack cocaine is a rock. And it's really sad, actually. It was sad putting that story together because it's like the guy said he relapsed recently, had bought the drugs the day before. And I was just thinking to myself, wow, what a waste, because he's an attorney, he's a city council member, obviously having a hard time, relapsing. He's now in rehab. He has stepped down, resigned his position. And I'm just like, I mean, it was super sad. And it's just such a waste of a life when I see people doing all these drugs, but it really took off. The story did. Yeah, you guys are convinced that this whole thing, I mean, unless something has changed since 6:02 p.m. when I got this email from the court saying the camera video feed will be provided this way, and this is the way it's going to happen. I don't know. I mean, they sent this out to all the media, so I don't know where this is coming from, this information about there not being cameras in the courtroom. I don't know who this so-called source is, this so-called reliable source, but it's not what I'm being told. I'm looking here to see what people are saying. So anyway, I'm going to try to come back on here next week sometime. Maybe I'll bring somebody with me. Would you guys like me to have somebody on here to talk with me so we can all talk together? I feel like sending out a tweet saying, this is not what I have been told regarding cameras in the courtroom for this. Let's see. Jackie asks, will it be live or delayed? So here's what's going to happen. They're not allowing live streaming. So the footage will be shot and captured of the hearing, and then it will be given to the rest of the media. So the rest of the media will be able to plug in outside or set up or, outside and collect the footage and play it from there. And then, we'll play it back for you as soon as we get it. Carrie Bevis, you and Gigi. Oh, you want Gigi? Yes. It's so funny you guys bring that up because I actually said to Gigi that we should do something together because we like being on together. And after Murdoch, she asked me to do it. And I was like, I would love to, but I just can't right now because I was just too busy. I was busy with work, family, the whole 9 yards. And I just had too much going on. And so I told her we should totally do something together. Yeah, Rob, I think there will be a lot of media in Moscow. It'll be a pretty big deal. So do you guys have any questions about Vallow Daybell, Kohberger, any of this stuff that I've talked about? I probably should show you guys this one thing. It was pretty crazy that I did a story on today as well. I got to show you guys this thing because some people told me they thought it might be a man dressed up like a woman. But there was this, let's see. Let me look here. There was this video that Miami police put out. I'm going to share my screen so you guys can see this. Let me close out a bunch of stuff on here. So Miami police, Miami, Florida. Sharing right now. Allow Zoom to share your screen. Okay, I don't know how to do that, but whatever. All right, I'm a little confused, but I'm trying to show you guys something. Maybe I'll just, I don't know what this is. I just got a new computer, so I might not have, you know what? I won't do it. I'm going to put it in the thing, in the chat. But you guys have to see this woman. And I actually thought maybe it looked a little fake, like some of the body parts looked fakely enhanced, if you know what I'm saying. And so it's really possible that it was. But Miami police in Florida put out this video. It's of this woman entering an elevator. She apparently went home with a guy. He took a drink out of a Solo cup. So did she. He falls asleep until noon, and she allegedly cleans out his safe, steals more than $600,000 in jewelry. And when I first looked at the video, it kind of looked like some of the body parts might be enhanced, if you know what I mean. It looked a little fake. But some people think that it's that it's might be a man. Oh, right. So Rob says the Corey Richins story is crazy. The Corey Richins story is absolutely crazy. She's pleaded, she's gonna plead not guilty, or has pleaded not guilty. But yeah, I interviewed the family spokesperson for Eric Richins' family. Very nice man, Greg Scortis. And I couldn't believe it when I was reading the complaint in that thing, that she was apparently asking a drug dealer for Michael Jackson stuff. Well, Michael Jackson stuff, as we know, is propofol. Remember when he died back in like 2009, and, the doctor Conrad Murray was giving him propofol to help him sleep. He couldn't sleep. And so propofol is something they use to put you under when you're getting surgery. It's anesthesia. And so Michael Jackson kind of became, I think, hooked on this to help him fall asleep, even though it doesn't really help you get good sleep. And so she wanted some of that, allegedly, to kill her husband, and she was getting fentanyl. And he thought he was being poisoned, according to all the court documents. And so now he's been poisoned, and she wrote a book about grieving for her children, her 3 sons, and went on TV promoting the book like last month. And now she's under arrest and charged with murder. So there you have it. Excuse me. I'm looking around here now to see stuff. So yeah, do you guys have any other questions? Are there any other crime stories you'd like to talk about? I think I'll get on here on Sunday and do something. And then we can all chat then too, because I'm planning to do that when I get out to Idaho. But I'll probably log on. I'm going to log off for now and talk to you guys later. I've got a ton of stuff to do. I've got to get packed to go on my trip, and it's Friday night. So we'll be out there on Monday morning, bright and early, for the arraignment of Bryan Kohberger. Again, it's not going to be a super eventful hearing, but we will be there. A lot of people are very interested in it, obviously, and we're going to cover this case because it's important. It's very sad, and college kids should be able to go to sleep in their houses and wake up safe and sound every day. Jacqueline asks, what about the young lady who threw away her newborn? Yeah, I saw that story. It's a horrible story. And we've heard about these types of things happening before. She's charged with murder and apparently got released to attend some event or something. I don't know. Sometimes people, it's weird that you've seen murder cases where people are released. Not everybody stays behind bars all the time. So that happened in the Skylar Richardson case. She was later acquitted, but she was free on bail and had some restrictions and stuff like that while pending trial. So really the whole reason anybody ever is kept behind bars when they're facing a murder charge is because they either can't post the bail, maybe they're a flight risk. Really, bail is to secure your future appearance in court, to ensure you show up. A lot of times it's set so high though that people can't post it. So, this woman was obviously able to get out. All right, guys, I will talk to you later. Have a good rest of your Friday night. If you have any questions, just send me a tweet and I'll try to answer. Bye.